How to start.
You don't really need a good idea to start a business. You just need any idea to start a business.
Now, most people tell you to start a business when you have an idea. That's not where a business starts. A business starts with a feeling, an instinct that perhaps you need to make a change, and then applying yourself to learning what is the best way to build something that you love.
And there is this pervasive myth that happens amongst everyone who's an aspiring entrepreneur, which is, I need the right idea. I cannot get started until I have the right idea. But the thing is, you don't start a business by first having the right idea and then starting the business. You start a business by deciding to start a business, and then you find a process to come up with the right idea.
And you might be wondering, I've never operated a business before. Do I have what it takes? This part, I'll say maybe. Let's see.
Now, everybody tells me that starting a business is filling a market gap or finding a niche. That is not true.
So entrepreneurs don't ask permission, they just get on with it.
It's sort of like riding a bike. You could read all the books you like about riding a bike. You could watch all the videos you want about riding a bike. But unless you actually sit on a bike and try and pedal and realize, oh, okay, you fall off a bunch of times, and then eventually you'll learn how to ride a bike. That is the only real way of learning how to ride a bike. It's the same thing in business.
Here's what a boss looks like. Can you work hard? I think you can. Can you handle the pain of being in charge? Are you curious and finding answers to problems? Do you want to take some short-term pain for long-term gain? And are you willing to do what it takes to surround yourself with other winners? Because success is actually contagious.
No one feels ready to start a business. Just like I've heard no one really feels ready to have kids. The timing is never quite right. Similarly, the timing to start a business is never quite right. You have to just start. You have to begin before you're ready.
The principle of constraints. And it's one of the most important thinking tools ever discovered. It says between you and anything that you want to accomplish, there's always a constraint, a limiting factor, or a choke point that sets the speed at which you accomplish your goal.
And just to labor this point just a little bit more, there's a nice quote here. Most people overthink first, act later. Every successful entrepreneur, act first, figure it out later. Any analysis ahead of action is purely speculation. You really do not understand something until you've done it. Rather than trying to plan your way into the confidence to act, just start acting.
You need three things. You need the right mindset, you need a strategy, and you need to take some action. In my opinion, you need a community of people around you while you do this.
So the question I said is, let's always set the goal of doubling our income. You want to double your income. Okay, want to double your income. Then why isn't your income already twice as high? Now in business, we don't think of doubling our income, we think of doubling our profitability. What we're concerned with is net cash flow. We're concerned with the amount that we take home to our family at the end of the day.
One of my most successful early companies was a company called Fluid. This company turned into one of the biggest agencies in Asia, which I sold to PricewaterhouseCoopers for more money than I'll ever need. And when I launched that company, there was 500 other businesses doing almost exactly the same. So how did I manage to win? I didn't have an original idea like everybody tells you you've got to have to start a business. You don't start with an original idea. You start with what you like doing.
So we say, if I want to earn twice as much, and everybody in here can and will earn 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much sometime in the future. If I want to earn twice as much, why aren't I already earning twice as much? And the number one reason for most people is distraction. So they're so distracted, they're doing things of low or no consequences. But we found the 80-20 rule applies to constraints. 80% of the constraints that are holding you back from achieving your financial goals are within yourself and within your business. They are not on the outside, they are not the competition, they are not the market, they are not the people in Washington or the taxes or regulation. 80% are within yourself.
There is no work-life balance. There is only syncing up your life with your business.
For entrepreneurs, we don't focus on products, we focus on problems.
And a lot of it comes down to how big is this problem? How urgent is it? How many people need something like this? So this is where you get into like the, the standard supply and demand sort of economic consideration. Is this a need that only you have? Or is this a need that many, many people have? And how big of a need is this? Is this something that, for example, high-profile podcasters will pay thousands of dollars to solve? Or is this something that affects only a subsegment of people and is not valuable enough to bother with or to invest a lot of time and energy researching, finding a solution for.
How do you find out if there's a big enough market for your idea?
That's where you talk to people.